So we're getting to a point where content creators are becoming trusted sources. Content creators are becoming so big in this realm of media that they're starting to get the traction from actual journalists. Shout out to my guy Real Robinson, as he had Lake Lewis on his show, as he does every single week, and they were talking about Jonathan Allen. Lake Lewis had this to say.
Because I think it's safe to say John Allen's not going to ever play for the Commanders again. That's not speculation, but I think that's probably safe to say that.
And Lake went on to talk about how he believes Jonathan Allen will not play a snap in the Washington Commanders uniform ever again. And this is something that I thought about immediately after he went down. Because not only does he have the cap issue, not only is he older, but he just simply wasn't producing anymore. And we have two young fellas behind him that are. Jonathan Allen was never the person that was looked upon to be this pass rush demon, this guy to rack up sacks, to be honest with you. This isn't to take any credit away from Jonathan Allen. He was one of the foundational pieces of this organization, one of the longest reigning Washington members of this organization. But we know how Jonathan Allen felt last year and the years before that. He's always talked about how vocal he was and how tired of this trash that was going on that he was. But let's be real. What has Jonathan Allen done to talk like that? It'd be different if he was actually contributing on a consistent basis. The last two, you can even say 3 seasons, Jonathan Allen is inconsistent. He doesn't really show up. He doesn't do much. And right before he got injured, he wasn't doing anything. I believe what Lake Lewis said because that's how I feel. Before I even heard Rio Robinson's video or Lake Lewis on his show saying that, that's how I felt. And I was planning on making my own video on it to begin with, but shout out to my guy. I have to give him this props. I'm gonna put it in this video to give him his props. That enlightened me to make this video more so than anything. Jonathan Allen doesn't need to be in Washington next year. I don't need Jonathan Allen here. It's nothing bad with Jonathan Allen. Thank him for his services, but at least Deron Payne, you could see he still has something left in the tank, and he still can become what he once was a couple of years ago when he was trying to get paid, when he had 11.5 sacks. Pulling up Jonathan Allen's stats right now as we speak. I know stats doesn't mean all of anything. However, the eye test also shows Jonathan Allen plays a lot of snaps and he hasn't done anything. He had about 2 sacks this season. That's about it. He had about 15 tackles. And again, I understand he got hurt, so you don't know what would have happened if he would have played. But the trajectory of his season, I would have imagined that it wouldn't have been too much different than what it was thus far. Because last season, he had 53 combined tackles, 23 assists, and 5.5 sacks. Decent numbers, not nothing too crazy. Then the year before that, he had 7.5 sacks, 65 tackles, 21 assists. The season before that, he had 9 sacks. Jonathan Allen, 2020, had 2 sacks. Like, he's never been a guy that got a lot of sacks. That's never been the game plan for Jonathan Allen, if you ask me. It's always been, alrighty, be an enforcer in the run game. Be a guy that's going to help the pass rush. Not you be the guy to get the sack, but push the pocket enough for guys like Deron Payne or at the time Montez Sweat or Chase Young at the time to come home and make the play. Jonathan Allen has had moments, but if we're talking about the trajectory of his career, it's on the downslide. This is his second season-ending injury. He had one in his rookie season, and in my opinion, the money that he's getting paid, it's no point to bring him back if you have an opportunity to get out of that. And the biggest reason for Jonathan Allen not being here, again, as I mentioned at the top of the video, was not because Jonathan Allen is just this trash can like he can't play at all. It's not that he can't play at all, but he signed a 4-year, $72 million deal. And he's going to be 30 at the start of next season. So he's going to be 30 years old and he's going to be due $15 million. And then he can be an unrestricted free agent at the age of 31 in 2026. If he was to get out of his contract right now, you would take a $23 million cap hit. So I don't necessarily know if that's something that you want to, do. The dead cap would be $6 million. But that's something that could be interesting because moving forward, he may not see the field as much, even if he stays here. If you ask me, in my opinion, because the trajectory of Johnny Newton, and Ferdinand Mathis makes me not even want to see him anymore. He's 30, right? Johnny Newton is coming off of the best game of his young career. Ferdinand Mathis is too. We're starting to see stuff out of Ferdinand Mathis. I remember for the first couple years of his career, I'm guilty of it, and not like I had no reason not to. I had perfect reason to feel guilty, and so did you, because he was injury prone at the time. He was not staying healthy, so we didn't know what Ferdinand Mathis was or is. Now we're starting to see that. We're starting to see the enforcing in the run game. We're starting to see the pressure, the interior pressure come alive. We're starting to see Ferdinand Mathis get in the backfield. We're starting to see Johnny Newton get in that backfield. Johnny Newton, is starting to show why he was supposed to be a first-round pick if it wasn't for his foot injury. He's starting to show that. And he told us in the offseason that he's going to make everyone pay for not drafting him. This same exact video that I'm referencing with Rio Robinson and Lake Lewis said Johnny Newton told him something in the locker room. Like just wait, just watch. He told Johnny that he's supporting him and he's riding for him. Johnny said, just watch. He's a dog, man. He is a dog, and he's a guy that I could see pairing up with Deron Payne for Deron Payne's back half of his career, because Deron Payne, although he hasn't contributed or hasn't had a season like he did when he was trying to get paid, he still shows something. He still shows something. I mean, it's times out there when I have to question where the heck is where the heck is Jonathan Allen? Is he even out there? Did he even play today? Hasn't made nothing, no impact, nothing for the last couple of seasons, in my opinion. At least not on a consistent basis. And if you're getting paid $15 million a year, I need you to do something on a consistent basis. You feel what I'm saying? Like, granted, Deron Payne only has 15 combined tackles, 4 assists, 1.5 sacks. If you're asking me, yes, that's very disappointing considering the fact that he had 11.5 sacks the 2 seasons ago when he was trying to get paid. But Deron Payne at least still shows up in other aspects. He's only 27 years old, that's for one. He also still is a very good run stuffer. He also still creates pressure for other guys like Dante Fowler, Cleveland Ferrell, Frankie Louvu, Johnny Newton now. They seem to be working together. And you want me to be honest with you, why I feel like Deron Payne is starting to come back around a little bit? It's because he's now seeing, man, hey, look, if I don't play good, if I don't show up, these two young fellas, Ferdinand Mathis and Johnny Newton, is going to come take my spot. And again, let's remember, Johnny Newton is still coming off of a foot injury. I believe he's healthy now, but he didn't even start the season healthy. Just imagine if he was to be out there week 1 and getting the quality snaps that he's starting to get now. I think Dan Quinn, Adam Peters has already seen this. They already kind of had their mind set on something. So I'm not going to necessarily say Jonathan Allen it will be cut here, but if it was up to me, I wouldn't use him anymore. I don't see no purpose to use Jonathan Allen anymore, and it wouldn't surprise me if we come January and Jonathan Allen is gone due to the fact that we just don't need him anymore. I'm sure he'll get picked up somewhere else. I'm sure he still is thought highly of around the league. But to us, to Washington fans, to people that watch him every single day, he's cool, he's fine, but he ain't nobody that you need to keep around, especially when you got 2 hungry dogs behind him. I'm very excited about Johnny Newton. Johnny Newton had one of the highest PFF grades this past weekend. Obviously having a sack, having the scoop and score that didn't count, but look at him finishing the play. Johnny Newton in the backfield consistently, sacks, tackles, with fumble recoveries, causing havoc in the middle. So quick. Lake Lewis said that he reminded him of Aaron Donald. Like, I'm not saying he's Aaron Donald, but coming out of Illinois, he reminded him of Aaron Donald because of how his small stature, but how quick he is. He's going to be a problem. And I think the more he plays, the more he's going to show why he was supposed to be a first-round pick. Again, thank you, Jonathan Allen, for all your services. Thank you for everything you've done for this team and this community. This is where you're from. You're from VA. So obviously, it's no hate, no personal hate towards you. This is just straight business. You're going to be 31 when you come back next year, and we got two guys that are 22 years old, and I want to say for Darian Mathis maybe like 23, 24. There's no point in playing Jonathan Allen anymore. Shoot, if Deron Payne was 2 years older, if he was 29, 30, I probably wouldn't even want to keep him around. But simple fact that he's 27 years old and he's at least shown some sign of coming back around at times, I'm fine with keeping him. And of course, you got to keep one vet. You can't just get rid of both and turn the tide to just strictly Fedarian Mathis and Johnny Newton full time. You got to have one of those guys coming off the bench. You got to have some type of snap rotation inside. You can't just roll with two guys. That's what we did wrong with Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe for so long, Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne has played so many snaps that Jonathan Allen was probably just hit too much tread on them tires, man. He's probably slowed down. He's probably not the same anymore because he's played so much since coming to Washington. That's something to think about. But already, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. As always, me, Wont Gotti. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I want to roll to 8,000 subscribers, so that'd be greatly appreciated if you reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Don't forget to use my promo code Wont Gotti on SeatGeek to get $20 off your first purchase. Y'all be easy. Stay safe out there. Peace.